right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very second episode of Daddykool and the Cutman. I'm Dane Daddykool, joined by the Cutman, Jackson Freeman. And Jacko, we've got another cracker straight off the bat. Newly announced Brisbane Broncos captain, Alex Glenn. Welcome, mate.
Welcome.
Cheers, boys.
And
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
How's your week been? I mean, when did you find out?
I think I found out it would have been about 2 weeks ago now, or maybe 3. Yeah, about 3 weeks now. But the week's been since the announcement. It's just been full on.
Yeah.
Full on. I've been, overwhelmed with all the love that I've received from mates, friends, on my phone, and then also the love through social media. And that, there's hundreds of messages I got to try and get through slowly and surely. But it's been overwhelming, man. It's been overwhelming. I'm still on cloud 9 now. I think I'll be like that for a long time.
I can imagine, man.
It's good to hear some positive social media stuff.
I know, bro. I know we're in a world where there's a lot of negative influence, and people naturally result to negative thoughts straight away. So I guess one thing that I try to push through my social media is positive vibes and positive living space, I guess.
And that's what we keep hearing about you, Lexi, is positivity. Like massive just good vibes and a bit family orientated and hard working. So we had to get you on as soon as
it's a pleasure to be here, man. It's a pleasure to be here. And, I guess if I can pass a message on to someone, one of your listeners that helps them in their life or their journey, I consider my job done. I'm all about trying to make people's lives better, trying to give them a positive, aspect in life, try and feed them that, I guess, a little kick up the bum to help them motivate themselves in some way. Because like I said, there is a lot of negative information in this world. And at the end of the day, we got to appreciate life, man. And life's about what happens now and the people that's around you.
Love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had my own mental health issues in the past, and I think these days it's becoming so prevalent that it's quite refreshing for men, and not men, like men to come out and be like, look, it ain't weak to speak.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so not a pussy.
Not a man, like a man.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's cool, man. Real cool.
I think that whole stereotype, of what, harden up, stop being a girl, that those days are gone now.
Yeah.
I think strength is when, men open up about, being vulnerable, about, not seeing your faults or things that you've done that you're not proud of as a weakness. When you speak about it, everyone can relate to a lot of things. Life's not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has tough situations in their life that they're challenged with. And when you speak about it, you'll realize that what I've learned from working with Living, and their motto is it ain't weak to speak, is when you open up yourselves to other people, you realize that you're not on a journey by yourself. Yeah. And other people feel like, they can speak to other people because there might be some similarities that you can help each other with. And, it really opened my eyes to a better perspective in life. Instead of trying to be a macho man walking around thinking that nothing can affect me, I'm fine, I can handle everything by myself.
Yeah.
That's all changed now.
Yeah, and it opens up another aspect too. Because ultimately you're being true to yourself. If you're 100%. Walking around thinking you're hard and you're, this and that.
Yeah.
And you're not. So you're straight away living a lie. Once you can sort of, just break down that wall and you're comfortable, and especially in your world.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it is fucking, alpha males, testosterone, forward packs trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
But then you can just go into the back shed and say, look, I'm not feeling too good, and you can have a conversation. It's go.
And I mean, you've been in the NRL now How long?
This is my 11th season.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a change with, particularly the opening up of players, or was it pretty open sort of when you started?
I definitely noticed the change, 100%. When I made my debut, it was 2009, and I had Petro, Koza, all Sammy, Hodjo, Carmichael, all these legends of the game who were always classed as the strongmen. And we didn't really, I guess, those boys now, they're the ones that opened my eyes to, life's not all about being macho. I think when you have kids, it really puts things into perspective about what's real in life, and your true emotions start coming out. And I've definitely seen the change from when I debuted to now about players really opening up. And that's why each club has a welfare officer at the club that you can go to, seek guidance. They can send you in a direction where if you need to take things to a professional, they can steer you in that right direction. But yeah, there's been a huge change from being that macho football player where nothing affects you. You're tough, you're strong. Criticism from fans don't affect you. I think to now where social media is a huge impact. No matter where you go, you always criticize on how you play, how you perform on a weekly basis. So having the support around you at your club, and your teammates as well, has been huge for the players coming through these days now.
Yeah, nice.
And that just brings back to, well, from an outsider looking in, like we're just fans of rugby league, but it looks like for you now, like you came on, filled in for Lockie, I think, as the youngest captain. So even early on as a young one coming through, the top people at the Bronx, obviously this is uneducated, this is just what we see, have seen a bit of guidance in you and trusted you with this role. What I feel now, and this is like, because you want a captain that just in the trenches, and that's like from all the reports that we hear, like you're hardworking, very humble, very family orientated, just good clubsman. For league now, for me, I've watched it my whole life. My dad was a coach, so I've always been around it. It used to be very like it was all about the fucking team, right? But now your partner that you train with, he could get shifted. Like I was reading something before, they're doing a swap system.
I know. I've only found out about that stuff.
Like it's how do you rally the troops to go to war? Like that's how I could be way off. I'm a fighter mentality. Like you're playing a game of footy, it's on. Like it's you versus them. No different to standing in a ring with two opponents. How do you rally a bunch of young, like the Broncos' depth's good. So how do you rally those guys into like a team mentality where they will die for each other, where they're not thinking, oh well, fuck it, I'm going to Cronulla in 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah. I know it's tough, man. It is tough, and I think last year we dealt with it firsthand. One of my best mates, Jordan Kahu, around this time now, he headed up to the Cowboys because obviously Benny Barber's incidents. He got the sack. They had no fullbacks. Jordan was told that he was going to be playing reserve grade for the rest of the year at the Bronx. So the opportunity arose for him to go up north. And the thing that I didn't understand was it was basically he was on loan. So he went up to the Cowboys for 1 year, still had his contract down here for this year now, 2020. So it was something that I didn't understand, but it was hard, man, because 1 week I was training with my best mate, we were putting in the work, and then the next week he had to make the toughest decision for his family to move up north. It was hard for him because him and I, we got that same drive and passion for this club, and we want to bring success to this club, that it was hard for him to leave and go do that, but it was the best option for his family. And like you said, it is hard to, I guess, build that culture and that team chemistry.
I just think is that like old school mentality? Like you're athlete, you're paid, it's a business. Like I get it, but when like the fans, they come to watch and they relive their fucking glory days, and you know what I mean. And it's about you getting in with your mates and blah blah blah. But if they're chopping and changing, and I just thought when you got named captain, I thought, right, and because of your previous captaincies and then the way that your contract went, like that's proper character. That's passion for the club, right?
Thank
so that's
you.
fucking gold, man. First
Yeah,
and
thank
foremost.
you, bro. Appreciate
but also they're serious, and it's like, okay, we need to get this team, and they're all young. They need someone at the head to to steer the ship, and that's your job. That's tough. That's a fucking tough job.
Oh, it is a tough job. I guess, it's only, a week or so, not even less. I've been appointed as captain, but I think it's something that, coming through this club, I've always tried to inspire the younger players around me. Didn't matter if I had the captain name, next to my name. And a lot of people have asked me since being appointed captain, is a lot going to change on how I am as a person, how I am as a player and all that. And I don't see much change, to be honest. Yeah, there might be more responsibilities for the club and, media appearances and that. But myself at training, what I try to do is I'm still the same person as I was when I debuted. I rock up, ready to train, ready to put in, 100% at everything that's asked for us, making sure that my body's in top knot, so I can perform at my best. And then when it's time to recover, I'm making sure I'm doing everything that I can. And the only way that I can lead these boys is through my actions. And that's making sure that I'm taking care of my business. And that's, I guess, the biggest thing that I can do for our team is to continue that. Show the boys everything that I learned from the greats like Lockie and all that, who taught me when I was coming up as a younger player, because a lot of these boys are just like a sponge, man. They're soaking up everything they see that's happening at our football club. And I don't want to be that bad influence that steers them down the wrong path and, makes them go out nightclubbing and they're in the headlines the next day. I want to give them, once again, that positive reinforcement that what I'm doing here has helped me be in the game for over a decade now.
Which is massive, like, roll out of school, straight in the top score with the Broncos.
That's crazy.
Stupid money.
Crazy, bro.
And then, you've got some fuckwit at a bar putting it on their kids.
Oh, 100%.
So you got to try and rally that. That's a big job.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Now, I fucking love the Warriors, man. What are the chances? Like, I know now that you're the captain of the Bronx, it's a lot more difficult, but what have they got to offer you? You'd be like, yeah, I'm coming home.
I don't know, man. It'd be hard It'd be hard to leave now that I got the C by my name at a club that I always idolized. Coming from Auckland, I was always a big Warriors fan, but if there was another team that I could pick, it was the Broncos. Darren Lockyer and Steve Renouf, like they were my idols, man.
I think your loyalty speaks for itself too, man. I mean, the contract negotiations about a year ago now, well documented.
Yeah.
And I think what Dane was sort of getting at was that loyalty that you showed to Brisbane is actually quite unique nowadays. And I think people perceive it as disloyalty when people take off to another club. I don't see it that way, but I do see it as pure loyalty when you say, actually, fuck it. I mean, you can explore your options, but if you say, nah, this is where I want to be. Personally, I wish it was in Auckland.
Yeah.
But and I mean, when I read that headline that you'd been made captain, I was sort of like, okay, well, that's the end of that dream.
Rule that name out. No, because it gives me goosebumps because, people get your money. You know what I mean? If you're fucking skilled, you're a lawyer. You're a skilled lawyer. You don't go, I'm going to just, stay around in this local law. You go and get what you're worth. So it's a tough one to comprehend when you've got these players like, I don't even know what Payne Haas is on, or these guys coming through that can stay at this club, and then hang on, you've got these guys knocking on the door. there's a very short lifespan in rugby league.
Yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
can all be over. Like your career's long spanning.
Yeah.
So to knock it back and go, nah, you know what, like, because you could get a contract anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Really, in reality, you could go to France and get big money playing rugby. You could go England, even just down to Sydney, but you didn't. So for me, if I was one of them young guys, I'd be thinking, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, man, like, it comes down to what's important to you. You know, you as a person, you as a player. And for me, like, I've always loved this club. You know, they gave me my first opportunity, but from a young age, like I said, Warriors and Broncos were my two teams. I look at all the greats that's come through this club. You know, it's more than just sport to me. This club's more than just a brand, a rugby league team. It's like a family to me, and you know that staying at this club meant a lot to me. Like you said, I could have gone to Sydney earlier in my career, chased the money and that. And would my life be a little bit different? Yeah, it would be, you know, but I have no regrets. You know, I'm grateful for the career that I've had thus far. I'm grateful to be the captain now. You know, things happen for a reason, and me staying at this club, it just meant a lot to me. You know, it meant a lot to me. So, you know, other players, younger ones coming through, you know, they'll get flashed $1 million, and at the end of the day, it comes down to what's important to them. You know, staying close to their family or chasing the money and making as much as you can. It's their decision, bro. And at the end of the day, everyone's different. So, you know, that's why when people come out, they're like, oh, he's not loyal, he left this club. You know, everyone's got an opinion. But the way that I see it is, as long as they're doing what's important to them, man, you know, I'm behind it.
Take the best out of it.
Yeah.
Stop looking for the negative. But
100%, bro.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask this earlier, but I felt like we got off to a good start. Talk us through what's been going on with your pre-season. I mean, when did it sort of kick off? I mean, let's disregard the captaincy, because I mean, obviously you're a leader at the club regardless of that. I saw recently that Penrith have been out in the bush with some army. Yeah. And I know through people who have played at Newcastle that Bennett was quite a fan of the army retreats pre-season. Yeah. What's been going on at Red Hill? I mean, it's a big year, obviously, for yourself. The club wants to bounce back after a disappointing sort of final.
For sure.
What's been going on?
Yeah, so obviously we started our pre-season with that loss to Parramatta. You know, obviously once that game was done, we pretty much split, went our own ways, had our holidays sort of thing. So this was the first chance or opportunity we got together as a team to, I guess, address what happened. Yeah. And use it as motivation for this preseason. You know, obviously it was the toughest loss the club has ever had. So we wanted to use it as motivation to inspire us to never get in that position again. Use it to fuel our energy to train hard this preseason. So that's how we started it. Our coaching staff, our trainers really upped the ante in our training and how we train on the paddock every single day, pushing us to those boundaries that you didn't think you could go. And so when you come to the footy field, it all seems easy. But it's been definitely one of the toughest pre-seasons I've been through, whether it's the age thing or, you know, it's actually physically pretty hard. Yeah. But, you know, we went out to Toowoomba, Crow's Nest, and we did an army camp out there as well for 3 days. And that was, it's always tough, man. Yeah. You know, those things are designed to, people always go, what's the army camps got to do with rugby league? And it's a fair, valid point, because I say that myself. But then when you go on a few, and I think I've done about 5 now, the biggest thing that I get out of those army camps are when times get tough, you only got your mates beside you, left, right, to help you get out of these situations. And when you're mentally fatigued and sleep deprived, starving, you know, you only got your mate next to you to help you get through tough circumstances. And, you know, those are designed to push you to your limits that you didn't think you could get through. And that's the biggest thing that I've got out of those army camps, is when times get tough and you get through tough periods like that, it just brings your team so close together. And, you know, it is hard, it's grueling. we had to make our own, I guess, hut in the bush. And we were just sleeping on dirt, man, pretty much. Boys were getting bitten by green ants. There was snakes going around, and my phobia is reptiles, man. So I was hardly getting any sleep. It was tough, man. It was tough. But like I said, the best thing you can get out of it is it brings the boys closer together. You achieve something tough as a team, and you're pushed to your boundaries that you didn't think you could get to. So it is tough, but yeah, man, this preseason I've really enjoyed it. I think, us collectively as a team and as a group, we've just, whatever's been put in front of us, there's been no whinging. We're just getting stuck into it because of that Parramatta game. We don't want to go back to where we were. And it wasn't to say that our preparation leading into that game was bad. You couldn't fault how we prepared for that game. It was just we were caught off guard, and we were just shocked at what was happening, and we just couldn't stop their momentum. And so, it's a learning curve. Things happen for a reason, and, we're looking forward to what 2020 has for us.
Yeah, beautiful. And we hear through the grapevine, just completely off topic, that you're not too bad with the riddles. Is that a little talent of yours?
Nah, I think it's just, I guess I love when you sit at a dinner table with boys on away trips. Sometimes, like a rule for us is no phones at dinner tables. So, everywhere you go, everyone's at cafes, you got phones, just scrolling through or whatever you're doing, emails. So sometimes it gets to an awkward spot where you don't have something to talk about. So what me and Geordie Kahu, we started Googling riddles and thought we would film the boys sometimes, and it was hilarious, man. So we just kept it going, and it lightened up the mood. The boys were having a laugh. It got everyone engaged. It was kind of cool. So do you want me to ask you some?
No, well, I knew Dane was going to say, because we actually looked some up, and I'm sitting here going,
did ya?
Can I remember them? And I can't. Oh, yeah, there was a Thanksgiving one that doesn't even really apply because I don't know when Thanksgiving is.
Yeah.
Can you remember any of them?
Nah.
No, I'm glad you brought it up anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah,
Good job, boys.
Real cracker.
I was just a little interlude there, but don't worry about it.
Nah.
Sweet.
Just warn me next time and I'll remember, man.
You, massive family, man. Huge family thing. I like, how important is it to emulate that to the young guys? Like, obviously they look up to you and they see you, but being a strong family man and not just slipping off after a game to have a few beers and things like that. How important? Like, obviously, I'm a family man, so I get it, but how important is that to install to these guys moving forward?
Yeah, I guess it's very important. You want to teach these kids, well, not kids, but these younger boys coming through about the values in life. And, family is a huge value to me. And I guess I learned from Corey and Sam, seeing how they interacted with their kids. They brought their kids to the games, seeing the smiles on their kids' faces at the end of the game running around Suncorp. And, I got to live those now with my kids. And it's honestly one of the highlights of my career is coming out from a tough game. The kids don't matter whether you win or loss. They're just happy to see their dad on the field. You pick them up and they just run like it's the happiest day in their life on the field. And I see these younger boys around us now, like they love seeing the kids around them. And I love seeing the players picking up my kids and playing with them. And, it's amazing. It's amazing. And a lot of our boys at our team, they're coming from Polynesia backgrounds. So they got the same values as me. Family is important. And, I treat my friends' kids like they were my own kids, sort of thing. Everyone's a family. And it's very important for me, I guess, to teach them the values that I learned about family and how important it is. And I guess, like I said early on, I just try to implement that through my actions. I don't have to go out and have a big night with the boys in town. I can give them my time in another way, whether we go to barbecues. Not saying that I don't go out and have a drink and that. It's just there's a time and place for a lot of things. And obviously, when you got kids, you can't you can't do that as much as you'd like to, but the only way that I can show these boys is through my actions.
And we touched on you, obviously from New Zealand. Your background, Māori or Cook Island?
Cook Island, yeah.
So my next question is, what's the chances of you playing for Cook Island, like from now on?
Well, I have. So shut out Kiwis and all that?
Yeah. The only reason I say it, obviously, it's your decision, but this Polynesian upbringing from like Tonga, Samoa, it's so exciting, man.
Oh, it is, bro.
And it's, once you start, like as a fan, you're like, oh fuck, who's Cook Island's got? And you're like, fuck, you start going through the team.
Yeah.
They're fucking great teams on paper. 100%. So, I'm just being selfish. I want to see like the Polynesian. I went to a Tonga Samoa game down the Gold Coast, and I was like, holy shit, this is like
the supporters unreal way.
State of origin shit.
Yeah.
Not much. There's obviously a bit. The only reason I went was because my mate was playing for Tonga, but never really heard too much.
Yeah.
And that was where I was like, holy fuck. And then now that all the high profiles are shunning Australia and New Zealand and going to, I love it. Yeah.
I think Tonga started that movement when Jason, all those boys put their hand up for Tonga instead of, the tier 1 teams. Yeah. And I guess I wanted to try and do that with the Cook Islands. And that's not to, disregard anything from my New Zealand heritage. I've been very fortunate to play 12 games with them, and it was a dream come true for myself. But, I got to a point in my time where I wanted to challenge myself. And Cook Islands, we're not, I feel like we don't have the respect that Samoa and Tonga have and Fiji and PNG have in the rugby league world. And when you look at our team that we can field on on paper, we got a starting 13.
Shit, man. That's a good team.
It's a massive team that could, make waves in the rugby league international comp. And, I guess myself, having the amount of games and experience that I had, putting my hand up for our small nation, I guess I wanted to try and inspire the other boys to do so too. And Brad Takarangi's been leading the way in that department as well. And, we had players like SR Masters, Chance Nikolai, who was playing for the Cook Islands before they were the players they are these days. Now they got the opportunity to, go play for New Zealand. I had a chat with Chance before he made his debut, and he goes, "What do you reckon I do?" And I was like, "I'm not going to tell you to turn down a dream of yours to play for the Cook Islands. Like, chase your dream. Make your own decisions, but whatever your decision is, make sure you're doing it for yourself, not for anyone else." And to his credit, I was proud to see him run out and wear the black and white jersey because he deserved it. Would I love for him to play for the Cooks? Hell yeah. But that's my goal for the 21 World Cup, is to try and get the best team we can to field a strong competition.
Man,
it's going to be a good World Cup, man. And I mean, as a Kiwis fan, it was difficult when Jason and those other boys said, "No, we're going to play for Tonga."
Yeah.
But as you say, having been with Fuss, when Folletti was still playing for Tonga, and I went down to Rotorua to see them play the Kiwis many years ago. Yeah. And at the time it was disheartening to see more of the Tongan boys were in the Kiwis team, and the Tongans got flogged, man. But the crowd was all Tongan. I think I was the only dude in the Kiwis jumper there. And it was just a matter of time before these boys sort of thought, actually, who cares? We've got good contracts with the NRL. Mm-hmm. Let's go and play for our, country. And for the first time in a long time, I think the World Cup's actually going to be bloody real competitive.
Hey?
Real competitive.
And when you see, I think it's Fafita, I saw a clip of him, telling his granddad that he's chosen to play, for Tonga, and just that's what you love. I love that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's playing for his fucking pop.
Yeah.
And you see him crying and carrying on. It's like, fuck, I'm getting goosebumps from it.
It just adds to the whole emotion about why you play rugby league. And, you know, those boys, especially Tonga, you know, when you see them, the passion they play for that country, you know, after they beat Australia last year, they all went back to Tonga, and you see that whole nation getting around them. They got a public day off, and they're going down streets in the back of utes and that, and they're just getting, it's like the Queen's coming to Tonga, you know, like the Queen of the whole world. That's the reaction they got, bro. Man. And it's just, man, when you see the passion that they get from the community, I guess their country, man, like, it's powerful, bro. Yeah. And that's something you want to bring to your own.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, even when the boys play at Mount Smart, the turnout, man, it's hard as a Warriors fan. Where you guys been? You know, like, where are you all here? Come support the Warriors, man. Yeah. But to see the red, with Tonga and Samoa playing each other in New Zealand, man, that's a game you want to be at. It doesn't matter who you support.
100%.
And it would be awesome to see the Cook Islands and PNG and Fiji as well, man, all to get to that level.
For sure.
Because I think, especially after Tonga beat Australia last year, people are now starting to realise, actually, Australia are bloody good.
Yep. Well, they're beatable.
But they're beatable. Yeah, that's
100%.
it. And Australia's had a real good squad, man.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you look at, was it like 5 or so years ago? It was always New Zealand, England, Australia just dominating everyone else. They were a sure thing to win the comp. Only those three. Whereas now, the international game has opened up. You know, the possibilities are endless. Tonga's now making a stand for the top 3 teams. You know, and I guess they've given inspiration for the other nations in other countries to, you know, chase those dreams to be classed as a tier 1 team. So I guess international league should be the pinnacle of rugby league. It isn't, in all honesty, it isn't. No. State of origin is a long mile above everything else. And that's because of the passion behind the game. You know, Queensland and New South Wales, it's just passion throughout the whole nation, and you can see it.
Yep.
But international level, it's, you know, there's a lot of, I'm sitting on the fence. You know, I'm not Kiwis through and through. I'm not Cook Islands through and through. You know, it's it's very different. Although it should be pinnacle, it's not.
You did,
but
right?
I think it's going in the right direction for players like the Tongans and myself, making a stand for the smaller nations to try and, you know, get them up to that level.
And PNG, like, it's their national sport.
Oh, it's huge.
Like,
huge.
You get mobbed down the street.
Man, I was very fortunate to go play a trial game with the Broncos against, you know, the Hunners over there a couple of years ago, and it's something I'll never forget, bro. When we flew in, we walked out of the airport, it was like Justin Bieber had come to PNG. Like, there was chanting going on. There was thousands of people along the fence, and they were just chanting your name, and I like got goosebumps, bro. I've never seen a reception like that before in my life. And then we all jumped in buses, like small buses, and as we started driving out the airport, there was like thousands of kids just chasing you next to your bus, just like waving, saying hello, bro. And this ain't for 50 meters. They're going for a K, bro.
Yeah, they'll meet you at the hotel.
I'm looking back at these kids going, man, where's their parents?
Yeah.
Like, are their parents going to be worried if they get hit by a car? Because they're running on a road. And it was just an experience I'll never forget. One, like, PNG love the Broncos. That's their favourite team. So for us to go there, play a game, it was just huge, man. It was huge, and something I'll cherish for a long time.
There you go.
Man. Now, what was I going to say? That's what I was going to say. So, is this your first, I mean, apart from press engagements that you've had to do, obviously plenty of this week, this is your first proper sit-down?
Yep, pretty much.
No.
Oh, actually, I lie. I did one with the Broncos with Jarrell and Sammy. That was my first actual one.
I saw that actually, so I don't even know why I asked, because I know. Have you spoken to Darius since? Because obviously you've known him for a few weeks. Has he been? I mean, I personally think he's taken it, but and I think he was a pretty good captain too. But it can't be easy. I mean, and I know Seabold has said that he sort of sat him down and they spoke sort of mano a mano about it. Has that been uncomfortable at all, or is it just sort of sweet as, bro, let's get on with the job?
Or is he one of those blokes that'd be like, fuck, thank fuck for that?
Yeah,
like, thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Well, honestly, bro, to his credit, man, like, nothing's been awkward at all.
Yeah.
We still haven't had a sit down, like one-on-one, and
you're
talked about it. 100%.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a long time, played with each other for a long time. Not in that way, but you know, played footy together for a long time.
You said it.
Yeah. We'll cut that out.
Yeah, and in all honesty, man, to his credit, and like what Steve said, he's been a man about the whole situation. I can only imagine how hard it would be for him.
Yeah.
Losing the captaincy, but to his credit, he's such a professional.
Yeah.
He will do whatever it takes for the team.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, honestly, him this preseason, it's like he's got a whole new, I guess, weight off his back. He feels energetic at training. He's training outstanding. His vibes around the boys has just been like through the roof, man. I can't fault anything in the situation he's been through and how he's like handling the matter.
Well,
he's
realistically, last year he was probably the most hated person in Queensland in the way, because he's not performing well, you know, it's fucking Darius Boyd. Like, he's scored probably in the top 3 of the Queensland tries. You know what I mean? He has a bad year, and everyone, this is that social media thing again. So like, he must have a fucking big ticker and some big swingers to just
100%, bro.
Fucking cut off the bat, because he was getting fucking peppered by everyone.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Just knocked it off. That's why I thought, you know, maybe you taking the captaincy is just like, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out when I sit down really how he does feel about the whole thing. But like you said, man, I take my hat off to him with all the criticism he was copying in the media. You know, anyone, I know he's not on social media, but you can hear about all the news and that anywhere. You know, you go to a cafe, you see your name in the paper and that. But, you know, for him to turn up every week, deal with it face to face, you know, I feel like our sport is a very tough industry to be in, because you're criticized on the way you play every single week. And if you go to another job, you'd never have to put up with the pressure that we have to go through on a weekly basis. It is a tough industry, but, you know, that's why I love it. I love the pressure. And getting back to Dubs, like, all that pressure that was getting put on him, like, that would weigh anyone down, man. And if you're not mentally stable, it's lucky that he's got a strong mentality, and he's been through some hardship through his life that allowed him to teach himself and coach himself through adversity. You know, if it was anyone else, man, it would have been a scary road to see how they went down, you know. And a credit to himself, he kept his head high. He kept turning up to training, trying to work his backside off for the team, you know. And if I was in that same position, who knows how I would have reacted. But, you know, I can only take my hat off to him. And,
like, it's not just social media. Like, he could be going for a coffee and have some, you know, fat bloke from Redcliffe going, yeah, fucking dog, Darius.
Yeah, bro.
You.
Not a fat guy from Redcliffe.
But yeah, it would have been hard, man. It would have been hard. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether or not it'll be, you know, a weight off his shoulders that he doesn't have that pressure for leading the boys and that. Whether that's the way he's thinking or not, I guess I'll find out when I sit down with him.
And, like, with like, touching back on the older boys. So I've seen a shift in the NRL. Once again, I've got no fucking idea what I'm talking about. I'm just a fan. But Moose, Josh Maguire, there was yourself, Josh Maguire, and a few old heads around a very young team. But that's every team in the comp. The thing with Josh, like, he just set himself up. I know him personally, and then bang, he's gone. That's business, and he's loving it where he is now. But he cops some social media stuff, like, to a point. Like, I saw it personally, and I was getting fired up. Like, he's looking at his phone, and he's like, fuck.
And like, he's one that takes things to heart too, man. Like, sometimes you have to like calm him down and tell him to not read into the media. But with Josh, he just can't help himself, eh?
Well, I was there with him. So he's getting a bit of for his fingers, you know, right?
Yeah.
Getting a bit pokey.
Yeah.
But I was literally watching it happen, and I was furious for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can see it, like, you can just see the cogs turning, and it's no different to anyone. But coming out of that, like, do you have mental coaches at the highest level? Do you have, you know, I know you got support with mental health and things like that, but just like day to day,
Not
little
really,
things,
man.
not really.
I guess it's a thing you have to go through or teach yourself by yourself. Unless you speak up and you ask to seek some advice, or, you know. And I guess that's the whole reason why I try and inflict positivity and, you know, healthy minds through my social. One, that teaches me to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm on the right path. Two, it helps others going through, you know, dark demons and tough times they're going through. And then I guess three, it inspires others to do the same. Because, like you said, man, we go through a tough industry. Anyone can type a comment on any social media, any post, or put up a post, and whether it's good, bad, or, you know, evil, everyone's going to see it. And I guess you got to train yourself to block out the negative comments and stay true to yourself. I think a lot of people in social media are trying to impress people.
Yeah.
You know, they're not posting for their own sake, or, you know, posting what's true to them. And I guess that's why I try to do myself, man, is I just post to what's real to me. And I stay true to what my values are. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to get people that agree with it or don't agree with it. That's just life. But as long as you're being real to yourself, you know, I know people are going to feel good about it, whether other people don't agree what they're doing or not, you know. You just got to stay true to yourself, and that's the same with social media too.
Well, I think the thing with Josh, particularly around the eye incidents and things like that, he's seen as such an enforcer in the league that people forget that he's just a bloke, you know. And I remember, because I know John Paul as well, I just remember sort of seeing how it was affecting his family and things like that. And I didn't really realise until I saw that side of it, and I thought, you know, even massive dudes with big beards who just run it hard and have done it at Queensland level, they're still dudes, man, you know. And more often than not, they're actually softer inside than the average bloke. They're just not allowed to show that because they're bash dudes for a living. And I guess it's refreshing to hear the way that you approach that side of life. Has there been backlash? Like, have you felt people sort of, I guess, sort of thinking you're a pussy, you know? You be harden up, bro. You know, do you get that, or people sort of, they respect it nowadays?
Honestly, I feel like people respect it. You know, more than frown upon it.
Yeah, good.
And I think, like we were saying earlier on, the times have just changed from going a macho player to, you know, to where we are now, where people applaud you for putting yourself in a vulnerable situation and talking about things that are hard to actually expose to others. And I think that's sort of been a reason why I continue to put out those positive vibes, is because the feedback that I'm getting from it, from people that I don't even know, man. They've sent me messages saying, like, you don't realize how often I check your Instagram just to help me get through some days. And like, I got a message. So there was a period after that Parramatta game where I just went off social media, because obviously there was a lot of backlash coming towards us. And I just wanted to eliminate myself from the whole thing. So I went off social media for a week, and for my mental state, it was amazing. It allowed me to, you know, focus on my family and what was important in life. And then when I come back onto social media, I had a lot of people I'd never heard of before. Not, I haven't heard, but I don't know them on a personal level. Reach out to me and say, are you okay? Like, I know you haven't posted in a while. just wanted to check in on you.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy crap. Like that is a huge step for someone. And these were males too. For someone to reach out to someone that you don't know on a personal level and see if you're actually okay, man, that was a huge, like I just got goosebumps now thinking about it. It was just a huge eye-opener to me, the influence I was having on others, and for them to reach out to myself and see if I was okay, like that was just, I couldn't believe it. I said to my missus, like, I showed her and she was like, wow, like that was powerful for me. So that gave me a huge boost in what I'm doing and what I'm trying to inspire others to do, to continue what I'm doing.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome, man. And like, the reason I'm going to ask this is like thinking outside of footy, right? So I'm all for fucking all in, man. 100% in. That's what I do with my fight career.
Yeah.
And you have to. And I love it. But
100%.
also, you still need a little plan B, right?
Yeah.
Injury, whatever. There's some pretty cool stuff that some players and stuff like Kahu's doing some good visual stuff.
Yeah.
You've got the boys, you know, like Corey Norman, Sigiaro and Ice with the YTKR. There's some really cool outside projects coming in. Is there anything you got in the pipeline, or are you just completely focused on being the Broncos captain?
No, I actually don't. I was about to make up a bullcrap lie and just lead you on a path and you'll be like, what?
Yeah.
But then I was like, nah. I actually don't, man. You know, I've only just started. I guess my missus has been on my case the last couple of years about implementing what's Plan B. And this year I've only just started my Cert 4 in mental health. I guess I want to help younger people coming through. And whether it's a welfare officer, you know, so I'm studying mental health, I'm studying youth work, and I'm going down that path at the moment, getting my certificates in that department. If I do choose to go, you know, pursue down that way, at least I got the qualifications behind me. But yeah, I guess it's one thing that's really, I haven't been able to nail down. You know, rugby league's been my passion, you know, fighting's been your passion. What's my passion apart from family and adventures? Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I'm still testing the waters, man. I'm still testing the waters, but I'm trying to put some studies behind me.
It seems to me like that's it.
Yeah.
Like the mental health shit, like I don't know, everyone's had mates, I don't know your background and your story or whatever, but fuck, bro, to me, that's it. Like,
and that's what my missus said.
If you can guide a footy team, then you can be powerful to people outside.
I was going to say, I've made this sound lazy. Let's not forget, you're the captain of your nation. You're the captain of the Broncos.
Well, obviously.
What's your capacity with living? I mean, do you just sort of volunteer with them? You obviously you're in the kit.
Yeah, bro. Well, the two guys, Sam Webb and Casey Lyons, they're two of my best mates from the coast. You know, so the Wayne who took his life before all this living started, he was suffering from depression and mental health, and the boys knew about it. But the night he took his life, he was just like happy as. You know, Sam was with him on the night. You would never have expected him to do what he did on that night, and it changed everything. And so these two boys started that living charity because one, it was helping them deal through what they were going through with their mate, and two, it was going to help other people, I guess, open up and deal with their mental demons as well. And, you know, for them to help others, it gave them a purpose in life that they're going to do something to change the world. And when they started that, I just jumped on board straight away. Obviously, I knew Dwayne as well, but you didn't want to see other people that you knew take their life from mental health. And so, you know, I don't have any shares or anything. I'm just volunteering my time to them because I guess I believe in what they do. You know, I believe in the impact they're having on the world. I've seen it firsthand, what they're doing in this world, and, you know, I'm all in. You know, I don't need anything from them. You know, I just want to, I guess, use my platform that I have to help share their message to the world out there, that it ain't weak to speak.
Yeah, man.
No, that's gold.
That's awesome, man. So, do you and I hope the Warriors are listening to this. I hope you've been out in the bush, Roger, because like as you were saying earlier, it was difficult to bounce back from that Parramatta loss, mate. We've been dealing with this since '95. Losses like that, we've been getting flogged. And I mean, what was the? I can't imagine how difficult that was. I remember watching that game, and it wasn't that the Broncos were shit. Parramatta were exceptional. Their wings were on fire that night and all last season. Yep. Immediately after, I can't imagine the devastated, the painful silence that must have been ringing through the dressing room.
Yeah.
Was it just I need to forget footy for a while? Did you just? I mean, some people like Dane would just go and hit a bag for 6 months, like a boxing bag. I don't want that to sound.
Wow.
There's a reason I'm this skinny.
What was your Was it for me it would be I'm going back to New Zealand. Luckily, I've never had to deal with anything that an athlete deals with.
Yeah.
How did you approach it, or was it
hard?
Yeah,
it was hard, and like I said, I had to go off social media for a week. I guess the most disappointing thing was standing in that try line. It felt like every minute we're standing in the try line going, what's happening?
Yeah.
It got to a point in that game where we were standing there. Normally when someone scores a try against you, come as a group, you address what went wrong, how do we fix it? Yep, sweet, let's go do it now. It got to a point where they scored that many tries that night, nothing was said.
Yeah.
People would try and say something and it was just shut up.
Just devastation.
Honestly, if you cared, show us.
Yeah.
And that's where it got to, man. And it was just honestly, I wanted to break down in that try line, man. Watching them kick another field, a goal, looking at the crowd going, is this how our season's ending?
Yeah.
And our team, we had a great team. So no team should have put that amount of points on us. Yeah. And it was hard to deal with, man. It was, we had fans in the corners. We walked over and shook their hands and they were devastated as well. But when we got into that locker room, and this is why I play football, man, is to get in that locker room and to celebrate with your mates when you get a good victory. But when we went into that shed, man, it was just pure devastation and heartbreak. No one could look at each other in the eye. Everyone's heads are down on the ground. The coach was he couldn't believe it as well. Yeah. Just, you could have heard a pin drop in that room, man. It was just pure devastation. It was definitely the lowest point in my career that I've been to. And I know things happen for a reason. You go through hardships to teach yourself lessons and stuff, but I never want to go back to that feeling we felt in that locker room, man. It was hard, bro. And how I dealt with it, I guess I found my kids. I shut off from the world. I found my kids because, like I said earlier, they don't care whether you win or lose. You're dad to them. Yeah. And it took a week to reflect on where I am, the opportunities I had, and the family that I have to help me bounce back from that.
Awesome, man. And I mean, just speaking of Roger, there's when we talk about Darius, and I think the extra pressure of that captaincy, I think maybe even Darius would agree he didn't play as well as he has played or could have played. I think Roger is that exception of, the captaincy almost seems to have made him better. And I think just from what I've heard here, I think that's where you're heading, man. And I might be a Broncos fan now that we've had this yarn, but I wish you guys all the best, man. And
Thank you, brother.
I really hope it. I mean, as you say, nothing can be worse than that, and I think that's so good. Have you got largely the same centre group that was there for last season?
Pretty much.
So no one's going back there.
No way. We've all bought into what this season means to us. What the values of this club means to us. And although we had, last year was so up and down for us. We lost Cody. We lost Josh Maguire early. We lost Jordan Coe. We lost a lot of players. So, like you said, man, how do you build a team around going to war with your players when you're losing players to other teams. So there was a lot of controversy, but this year we haven't lost too many players.
Yep.
We've gained Jordan Kahu back as well. So we've got a strong side. Mentally, we're going to be a lot stronger. Obviously, I can't promise the world that we're going to go to the finals. We're going to pump everyone that we come up against. It's going to be a long road, but I feel like our club is growing from the year that we had, all the controversy we were dealt with, and it's made us a tight-knit group, coming into 2020. So, although it's exciting for me being the captain, I'm more so excited about what we can achieve this year.
Well, it feels like to me like they've chosen the right person.
Thanks.
man.
Right, it seems like your job's more important than captain in a footy team. I feel just from sitting down with you, you're probably the same, Jacko. Your role is to develop young men, and there's these young men coming through. They need a figure that can put, that everyone goes on about your work ethic, training, and your high energy, and you just rolled in here. You don't know us, and it's just like we've known you for years.
Yeah.
So your role to me is like developing these young men, build a culture, show them what the Broncos are about, and bring them back. And man, I think they've done it. It's been a fucking pleasure, man.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you very
I
much
really
for coming.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man. Real
Thank
pleasure.
you, boys. Thank you
Best
so
of luck
much
this
for
season. Oh shit.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's a great honour to be on your guys' podcast, and thank you for throwing the invite out for me.
All good, man.
Let's go.